They came for a weekend getaway. They left, but not all of them. It was supposed to be a simple trip. A young American family decided to spend a weekend in the woods. No Wi-Fi, no phones, just nature and each other. They rented what looked like a perfect cabin online. 5 stars, cozy pictures, even a fireplace. When they arrived, everything seemed normal. But deep down, something felt off. That first night, the youngest daughter woke up to laughter outside her window. Not from her brotherly parents, but from another child. She told her mom she saw a little girl at the door. Her mother laughed it off until she heard the same laugh minutes later. And then there were the doors slamming shut on their own, the thermostat dropping below freezing without warning. And worst of all, shadows that moved when no one was there. They didn't know it yet, but the house had already started watching them back. Day 2, things got worse. The car wouldn't start. Phones lost signal. The father began sleepwalking, found barefoot outside, staring into the trees. The son started drawing strange circles on the floor. He said someone told him to finish it so they could stay forever. His sister refused to go back into her room. She whispered, "She's still in there." It wasn't just fear anymore. It was recognition. The house knew who they were and what they liked. The mother found an old journal hidden beneath the floorboards. It belonged to a woman who vanished with her family decades ago. One line stood out. "Once you sleep here, it owns you." She flipped through more pages. Names, dates, descriptions of doors that opened to places they'd never seen before. There were drawings of people, smiling, happy, all of them gone now. She looked around. The house felt heavier, like it had been listening, like it knew she knew. In silence. No one said it out loud, but they all agreed. It was time to leave. They climbed into the car. One last look at the house, and then they drove. For a moment, everything seemed okay. The road stretched ahead. No strange sounds, no flickering lights. They thought they'd escaped, but they were wrong. Then the headlights wouldn't turn on. Just a flicker, then darkness. Still they drove. For miles, it seemed like they were finally free. But the trees, they looked the same. The signs, familiar, and suddenly, there it was again. The house, waiting. No matter how long they drove, no matter which turns they took, the road always led them back. Like the world itself had shrunk around them. And every time they passed it, the front door opened just a little wider. Eventually, they made it, or so they thought. As they drove away, the mother glanced back at the rear seat and realized her son wasn't there. To this day, they don't know how he vanished or why the house let the rest of them go. But every year, on the anniversary of that trip, the mother gets a photo in the mail, a picture of her son, smiling, inside the house. He looks exactly the same, like he never left. Some houses don't just remember. Some houses keep what they love forever. Even when you think you've escaped, it's still with you. In the English countryside, an old Victorian house stood in eerie silence. Its windows were dark, no lights inside. A large tree touched the roof. A wooden sign hung on the gate reading, "No entry after midnight." But the family didn't know that this house was an Irish couple. Liam and Megan moved into the charming house while renovating their new business. The house was beautiful, but came with strange rules. No entering the attic, no staying past midnight, and never open the red door. They laughed it off as quirks of an eccentric landlord. They had no idea those warnings were meant to protect them from what lived inside. That first night, Megan woke up to see her own reflection smiling at her from the mirror when she wasn't even looking. Liam kept hearing footsteps behind him. A man in a black suit watching him from across the street. Only there was no one there. And the clock in the hallway? It always stopped at exactly 3:07 a.m. Like someone had paused time and left a message. One night, Megan woke to silence. Not the kind you hear when everything is still, but the kind that feels like it's waiting. She turned to the other side of the bed, empty. She called his name. No answer, just the echo of her own voice bouncing off the walls. Then she saw it, the red door, slightly open, as if someone or something had just stepped through. She remembered the warning, never open the red door. But it wasn't closed anymore. It was inviting. As the days passed, the family began acting like the lost family before them. Repeating their words, mimicking their habits, even dressing the same. Chloe, their teenage daughter, realized what was happening. The house wasn't haunted by ghosts. It absorbed memories, identities, even souls. Every family that lived there became part of its curse. And worse, the house remembered who they were and what they loved most. Chloe recorded a video begging for help. She said the house was a prison, that it fed on people who stayed too long. She whispered into her phone, voice trembling, "If anyone gets this, don't come here. Don't stay." But even as she spoke, the walls began to change. The photos blinked. Smiles turned into grimaces. Eyes followed her. It wasn't letting go. Every step she took toward the door felt heavier, like the floor was pulling her back. When she reached the exit, she turned back one last time. The hallway was gone. Only a wall of mirrors remained, all showing her face, all smiling back. Eventually, Chloe vanished. Her parents were found days later, wandering outside the house, dazed and confused. The house was empty, except for one thing, a photo album, filled with smiling families, including hers. And in every picture, she was smiling back. Some houses don't forget. Some houses remember Forever. Even when you think you've escaped, it's still watching. Natalie was an American college student when her estranged grandmother passed away. They hadn't spoken in years, but to her shock, she inherited the entire estate. A grand old house in rural England. No one had lived there for decades. Her friends thought it would be fun to check it out together. So they went, 5 of them, thinking it would be just another adventure. But some houses don't wait. They remember. From the moment they stepped inside, something felt wrong. The air was colder than it should have been. The portraits on the walls seemed to follow them with their eyes. Then came the music, a soft lullaby playing from nowhere. Natalie recognized it. It was the same song her grandmother used to hum, but no one else could hear it. And that's when she realized this wasn't just a house. It was watching. Strange things began to happen. Doors locked themselves. Lights flickered when someone lied. And worst of all, people started vanishing. One by one, they disappeared, then returned, different. Their voices changed. Their smiles weren't theirs anymore. It turned out the house wasn't just haunted. It was feeding on bloodlines, on memories, on people who stayed too long. Natalie found hidden journals in the basement. Her grandmother's handwriting filled the pages. It wasn't just a diary. It was a warning, a message left behind by someone who vanished before her. The final line chilled her blood. You're not the heir, you're the sacrifice. She flipped through more entries, names, dates, descriptions of strange rituals. And then she saw her own name, written in red ink, as if it had always known she'd come. Natalie tried to escape, but the house wouldn't let her. Every exit led back to the same room. Every window showed the same view, the front door. Her friends were gone, or what was left of them. The house had taken everything, except her. Because she wasn't just visiting. She belonged here now. Like everyone before her. The house began changing around her. Corridors stretched longer than they should. Doors appeared where there had never been any. And worst of all, time wasn't moving forward anymore. It was repeating itself. Again and again. Each loop brought her closer to something buried deep beneath the floorboards. Something that remembered her family better than she did. Eventually, Natalie woke up outside the house, alone. She thought she'd escaped, but when she checked her phone, the date wasn't right. 10 years had passed. No one remembered her. Her apartment was gone. Her name erased from records. And the house still standing, waiting for the next heir. Some houses don't forget. Some houses remember and return what they take. Even when you think you're free, it's still with you, watching.